Jonathan, we're in Paris.
We are.
And we had an amazing red carpet launch last night of this fabulous season of The Chosen in the French language. What are you hearing from people in France as they saw your episodes last night, or you've been meeting people around? What are French people making of The Chosen?
I think they're really excited about it, especially to have it in their native language. You know, not everybody speaks English, and to have it dubbed into a language they understand and dubbed spectacularly well. I mean, they got the top of the top talent to dub the voices. I almost prefer my Jesus' voice in The Chosen in French than my own voice. I'm like, can I borrow that guy's voice for a little while? 'Cause it's just amazing. It's so well done, and I think the feedback and the response from last night's premiere was just like, people are so just completely amped to just see this thing hit the national airwaves in France in the next week, and I'm really excited to see what happens.
And that's the big deal, you know, for the Christmas season, for national French television to be broadcasting this everywhere, not just for paid subscribers, but for everybody. This is the most secularized nation in Europe. How has it been possible to get this program on national television in a secular nation like France?
God is the only explanation I can think of. I mean, I don't understand how it's happened, but it has, and thanks be to God. You know, I'm extremely grateful that it could happen in that way.
What do you think secular people are going to find watching this television program?
I think they're going to find that what they think they knew about Jesus and what he represents may be completely at odds with the reality of who he was, what he did, what he represented, and how he changed the world effectively. I think they're going to be surprised. I think they're going to be deeply touched by what they see, and have a different idea about who Jesus was, and I think it'll really spark this curiosity and this desire to go deeper into his story.
We're living in a difficult moment in history. Many of our nations, not just in America but in Europe, are very divided at the moment, polarized over politics. We're in the middle of a global pandemic still that hasn't gone away.
Yeah.
What do you think Jesus and the story of Jesus can offer our world right now?
Hope, consolation, encouragement through the fear, through the anxiety, through the struggle, through the desperation. I can only speak for myself, but having Jesus as an option versus nothing, versus the anxiety in my heart and the not knowing how it's all going to work. I mean, there's no choice for me. It's like, why wouldn't I want to put my faith in somebody and that changed the world in such a profound way, and still does today, you know? And I've seen the impact that people watching his story have had on their individual lives. I mean, literally people's lives have been saved. I've heard of multiple stories, and I met one person in particular, a young lady who was literally on the verge of committing suicide. She's 20 years old, and when she was 19, she was going through some deeply profound struggles that left her in her mind with the option of just opting out. And she had gone so far as to written out a suicide letter, and she had prepped a jump rope to hang herself with in her own home. And someone told her about the show, or sent her a copy of the show, I can't remember, or directed her to the show, and she watched the first episode, and there was this explosion of just love and insight that her life meant something, that God loved her, and that she didn't need to take her own life. And as a result, she didn't. And a year later was telling me about it, as myself and her family are sitting around just crying. You know, it was It's the fact that a TV show can facilitate that kind of a spiritual change is just profound and a blessing.
How do you, I mean, because this is going to be a long-running show, and you're going to have to be Jesus looking for quite a while, how do you live with the responsibility of that, knowing that for some people, this is life-giving hope for them, and your performance is the vehicle through which they're experiencing that life-giving hope? What does that do to you as a performer, as an actor, as a person? How do you live with that kind of pressure?
You know, I pray a lot, and whenever I feel like the pressure is really, really intense, I have ways of just kind of going into these quiet places of solace and serenity, and mostly to just pray for the strength that I don't have on my own. And my belief in God facilitates that. It makes that possible. It gives me a sense of peace and knowing that, you know, Christ himself was not spared from the struggles of humanity, from torture and from death. And so if I have to go through a little bit of discomfort in order that more people have access to who Jesus really was, to the authentic Jesus we're attempting to present, to the accessibility of Jesus, if that's my sort of cross to bear, so to speak, then so be it. You know, I gladly offer it up.
It's amazing. Well, we're really grateful for the performance you've been giving us in the season so far, and it's been amazing watching the reaction in France. I interviewed probably 15 people yesterday, many of whom had just seen the show for the first time, and it had been transformational to them. So well done, you're doing great work, and it's wonderful watching and cheering you on. Thank you.
Krish.